Hey, hello. In today's video, we will see the stack implementation that we have talked about in the previous video. We saw the theory behind our stack and how it works on using follow the first and the last step. So let's implement this stack, and we will be doing it using our classes and also the list, the data structure that we have already seen. We will try to implement our stack using lists. So let's develop the functionality of it. So I'm going to use my class. So let's create class and let's call it stack. And after that, I need to create a constructor. So basically, what we're going to build in a constructor is that whenever I'm going to just pop up the object of my class stack, it's going to be like assign an array to it, especially an array to it. So let's do that. Let's do that so you can understand better. So I can just define that, and inside that, I just need to say self, just clicking on to our self document, and I'll say self.stack, and each of the stack is going to refer as an empty list. So every time I will create an object, what happened? It will create an empty list and assign to it. So now this is just the basic stuff. So now we need to implement the functionalities that a proper stack has. So the first functionality that a stack has is the push, and that push must be at the end of the list. So we are using list, so we can use the functionalities of list to just push the element inside our stack. So I'm going to create a function which is called push, which will take self, and it will take item, which item we need to push, and what it will do, it will just say self.stack, which is this thing, and we are using list, so we can use the functionalities of list, and we will use the append function, and inside that append function, we'll just put our item. So here we go. Nice and good. It will just insert our item at the end of our list, which is actually working as a stack right now. Okay, so let's create one more function. Let's create a dot function and check for how many characters we have, or we can check for is our stack empty or not. So let's create is empty function. That will also take self in it. And then what we're going to do is to check. So how we can check it. So to check it, we need to measure the length of it. So how we can learn the length of it is that we can say if length of self.stack equal to 0, that means return true. Else return false. So actually what happened here is that this is just going to give us true if our stack is empty, and it's going to give us the false if our stack is having at least one element in it. So this is just a function to check it. Okay, we have implemented the two functions. Now let's move toward a pop function. We also need to pop something out, and to pop something out, we can only access the last element. So we will just pop the last element because we are developing a stack functionality. So only the top of the stack one will be accessible. So we are going to use staff, and we can say pop. Create a function, we'll get this. And simply what we need to do in the pop function is to first check is our stack is empty. So I'm going to check for like if, and I'm going to call the function now. Self.is empty. So if it's empty, it's going to give me true. So I can just say print my stack is empty. Sorry for the typos. Okay, and else, what's it's going to do? It's going to pop the element for me. So else self.stack dot, what we need to do is we just need to pop the last element. So we are going to say self.stack.pop. So it will just pop up the last element, and this is our basic 4 functionalities. And let's create one more so we can actually saw what is the last element that we inputted in our stack. So For that, we can create a function which is going to be called peek. And this peek function is going to take self, and how we can take a peek inside our stack. So to take a peek inside our stack, what we need to do is to just use self.stack. And there is an indexing from this end of the list. So the last element which is inside it, like appended in the list, is accessible by -1. So all we need to do is to say this -1, and that will do the job for us. So here we will say return. That would return as the last element. So this is a really basic functionalities of the stack. Let's try to run it, and then we can see how it's actually going to work. So take time for the first one. Okay, we got an error, and that error might be we are not indented. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we will see what the error is about. And this is just a little indentation problem, and that's it. Nothing any complex. So we just forget to indent it properly. Yep, I think that will work. Okay, yeah, perfect. So this one works. So now we need to create an object, and that object will specifically tell us that is our functionality or true or not. So I'll just say s is equal to stack. Now this s is our stack, and let's try to see. Oh, let's create one more function that will tell us whole story, like show us a complete stack. So I'll say diff show, and I'm gonna implement self, and that will say print, and you print self.stack. Okay, so this one is just going to print us the whole thing. And I run it. All right, let's just run this one. Okay, let's try to run this one. So s dot, I'm going to say show. And we can see it's empty. Let's try to append some elements in it. S dot, what's the name for our function? It's push. Okay, so we're going to say push, and we are going to give it some values 10. We're just going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it for like 3 to 4 times. Okay, then I can just do 20, I can do 40, I can do 90, and I'm going to run this all. Okay, so push is successful. Now if we see s.show, so yeah, I can see that they are properly pushed inside. And now let's just pop some element and try to pop it. So I'll do s.pop. So every time I will do the pop, the last element should be popped out. So this 90 should be gone when I try to do s.pop. Okay, it ran perfectly. Now I'll try to run this s.show again. And yes, our 90 is gone. So yeah, we have checked for is empty, and we have checked for pop, push. So is empty is actually working inside pop, and that's actually working fine. And let's try to do the peek function. And the peek will tell us the last element, which is enter. So it's going to give us a 40 this time. So I'm going to say s.peek. And boom, we got the 40. So I'll just try to pop every element. So I'm just going to run this for one more time, and then one more time, and then one more time. So all the 3 elements are popping out. And if I run this one, you can see that it's giving me the empty brackets. And now the last function that I want to try is s.isEmpty. So my stack is empty right now, so it should give me true value. So let's try to run it. Yes, and it's giving me the true value. So that means that my stack is actually empty, and all the functions are working accurately. So this is just a little focused presentation about stack, in which we just put the element at the end and pop the element at the end and have a look at the end element. So from end, I mean the last element that we are stacking up on. So the last stacked element is the one that we are more concerned about. So we implement it using lists, and we will try to do some exercises about it. And after that, we will move toward our next data structure. So goodbye for now.